Let's take a moment and focus on this concept of classes versus objects. If you're new to object-oriented programming and this idea of classes, this can be a little bit tricky. Recall, this is how we define a class. We say class, creature, and it defines basically the blueprint. Here's how we initialize it, and within that initialization, here's the fields. Here's the other behaviors it has, for example, that it can walk around. And for creatures, there's only one creature class. This is it. This is what a creature looks like in our program. However, we can create many of these creatures. Here we're going to create a squirrel and its power. You can see the parameter to the initialization method is power. So here when we say creature parentheses 7, we're creating a squirrel with power 7, whatever that means. And then we're also creating a dragon, which is more powerful. It has power 50. So when we create the squirrel and the dragon, these are objects. And objects are created via classes, but they each have their own pointer in memory, and that points to their own data. So this squirrel object, it has its own power variable, and its power is 7. Now it actually gets the implementation from walk from the blueprint, but we can call walk on the squirrel, and we'll work with its data, its power of 7, and so on. The dragon has another pointer somewhere else in memory, and it has its own copy of power. So if we change the dragon's power, obviously it's unrelated to the creature. So these are objects. They are created from the class, from the blueprint of what defines a creature. And then we can call squirrel.walk, dragon.walk, and that may have different behavior based on the power. Like maybe if it has a lot of power, it jumps around. If it doesn't have much, it sort of scurries or something like this. Once you get used to this idea of classes and objects, it's really straightforward and you'll have it down, no problem. But if this is new to you, make sure that you get this idea. It's a core concept in object-oriented programming. Classes, inheritance, and object-oriented programming play a really central role in Python.